There are 30 tracks in Mario Kart World, each of them having some sort of uniqueness to them. At first glance, these tracks don't look that noteworthy until you take Mario Kart World's mechanics into account. Charge jumps, wall rides, rail grinding, and being able to trick off objects allow you to do things that would otherwise look impossible to do. Not only that, but these tricks can help you win races, and that is my goal for this series. Welcome to my track guide series, where I'll go through each track one by one, diving into the strats that are online viable. It can help you get better not just for the track, but in general. The way I'll do this is that I will break these guides into 3 sections: general racing, item play, and intermission routes. I'll explain these more when we get into those sections, but with that out of the way, let's get started. The first track of the game is Mario Bros. Circuit. With it being the beginning track, it serves its purpose to ease you into the game so you can get a feel of how to control the game. For it being the first track, there's quite a bit to get into. First off, at the start of the race, you can steer left and immediately build a charge jump. Aim for the Luigi sign where it says tires. When you get close, release the charge jump and you should be able to go over the tires and land on this rail. This saves quite a bit of time and gives you an early lead, and it's not really that hard to do. There are some things you should keep note of though. You mainly have to be in a top spot to do this more efficiently, primarily second place since first is more further away from the signs. You also gotta keep note of who is going for the tire skid. If you see people getting ready to do it in front of you, you can improvise by using this Mario loader sign. Now, when you come to the end of the rail, do a right trick and build a charge jump and release it. Before you get on this rail, hold right, and as soon as you get on the darker part of the road, you can hold left and trick off it. You can do a right trick and hop from rail to rail to save time. Now you got this big turn. To play it safe, you can just drift through it. But for the fast method, you can do a couple of edge tricks. While it saves time, this can be pretty risky to do, so don't do them if you're not confident in doing them. After the turn, there are 2 paths. You always want to go to the right unless you have a shoe, but I'll get to that when I talk about item play. Simply do a couple of tricks into the glider, land on the rail, and left trick at the end. And that is a full lap of Mario Bros. Circuit completed in the fastest way possible, with just general driving. Now let's move on to part 2 of this guide. Mario Bros. Circuit has quite a few uses for a couple of items, starting with the feather. While there's not too many use cases for the feather, you can use it to jump over the tires and onto this rail. The next item will be mushrooms. You can use a mushroom to break the tires with ease. You can also do this with the golden mushroom, but instead of taking the rail, drift tightly into the off-road for a bigger time save. Not only is this faster, but it's safer since you will not be locked on the rail. Now I said that the right path is faster unless you have a mushroom. If you have a mushroom, you can do the stream cut where you right trick off of this rail before it turns. Build a charge jump and aim for this piece of grass. Use your mushroom and do a left charge jump, and if done right, you'll be able to get on top of this area through the boxes. You can even get a trick off of this red metal piece, but it's not necessary. Now for the bill. There are quite a few spots that are good for using the bill. The first spot being the huge turn at the second item set. The bill will extend through the whole turn just before the last item set, which, speaking of, you can also use the bill at the last set. Just make sure you hold right so you can take the right path, which is faster. The last bill spot on this track is the beginning rail. You can use your bill here to take the rail safely while bumping out anyone that is in your way. Lastly, the star and mega. I will be grouping these 2 items as the same since they're pretty similar in how they function. The main spot you want to use your star or mega is at the last set, since you can take the fast inner line while being invincible for the time being, as well as being able to change your star into another item. If you want, you can also do the strat of drifting tight so you don't attach to the beginning rail to take a faster line. Now on to the final part of this guide, the intermission routes. Now I'm not going to go over full detail about the actual routes, but there are some stuff I want you to know about. If you're coming from Desert Hills, Whistle Stop Summit, or DK Spaceport, you will encounter this section. When you're here, take the power lines as that is faster while giving you 2 coin blocks to increase your coin count. If you're coming from Shy Guy Bazaar, then keep in mind that this is the only route to Mario Bros. Circuit where you play the track regularly. For the route itself, I highly recommend getting a golden shroom, as well as another good item since you can take 2 massive shortcuts with just the golden shroom alone. This info is good to know, as this route is in the Cloud Rally, and specifically in the Cloud Rally version of this route, you can actually squeeze between the tires at the start of Mario Bros. Circuit to take the rail. If you're coming from Wario Stadium or Choco Mountain, you will encounter this section. If you have a shroom or dash room, you can do the shortcut where you build a charge jump, use your shroom, and release your charge jump off this rock into this cactus. Do a couple of right tricks and aim for this wall. Do a trick and land back on the wall, then trick into the cactus and back onto the road. While this cut can be hard to do at first, it does save a good amount of time. If you're not able to do that, then there are other ways to skip this turn. You can charge jump into this gray rail, then trick into the second to last pole thing. Land near the rock and trick back onto the road, simple as that. If you also can't do this, don't worry, there is one last way you can skip this turn. Do the same thing, except aim for the last pole thing here, then trick off the cactus and back onto the road. In my opinion, the easiest way to do this cut. The only downside to this cut is that it skips an item set, but if you think it's worth going for, then by all means, do it. This is also useful to know, as you can do this in the Boomerang Rally, which, speaking of, I know this is technically not part of the track you race on, but you can do a charge jump into this pole, which leads to a secret glider. You can then take the other glider and fly across the off-road for a bit of a time save. There's not much to say about Crown City to Mario World Circuit, so on to Reverse Mario World Circuit. Most of the strats here are pretty minor or very hard to do to the point where it's not really worth going for. But for item play, most of what I said still applies here, so keep that in mind and you should be able to get a good race on Mario World Circuit, whether it be the regular track or a Reverse. I hope this guide helped you out, and I will see you next time when we tackle Crown City next. Take care everyone.